be magnified above Judah. The tents of Judah first. Now, you have Israel, Judah. Okay? Jerusalem, Judah. They both, northern region, southern region, make up Israel. Okay? He's going to say the southern first. Because the southern are intense. Oops, sorry. The southern are intense. They're, well, metaphorically intense. They are not within the walls of Jerusalem. They're not within safety. So when God starts saving people divinely, He's going to start with Judah. Can you do both at the same time? Yeah. Now, them first might be 2 or 4 seconds, and He's done with that, and then He's going to move up here. How He's going to do it, it doesn't really matter. What we know is that there will be those outside the walls of Jerusalem that did not make it in before the walls were shut, before the assault of the Antichrist. Where was I? In that day the Lord will defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the one who is feeble among them in the day will be like David and Goliath. And the house of David will be like God, like the angel of the Lord before them. And in that day I will set about to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. Yeah. Imagine, if you will, Grandma. Let's imagine Grandma's 5'1". Used to be 5'9", but she shrinks because of osteoporosis. Okay? She's 5'1". She has lost 40% of her bone density. Walks hunched over, scoliosis. Her top speed is somewhere between 1/3 and 1/4 mile per hour. Somewhere in there. Okay? With a walker. I want you to imagine Grandma, and the moment this happens, standing up straight, fully erect, flexes back those muscles that she hasn't used in 40 years, stretches, picks up a sword, pulls off some Mighty Morphin Power Ranger ninja stuff, and says, "All right, devil, let's take a dance." She's going to be like David. Youth restoration. Is that what's going to happen? I don't know. In my head, that's what's going to happen. Your 80-year woman will be like 19-year-olds again. I'm not sure what your 19-year-olds are going to be. They may just fall on the ground, start kicking and screaming. I don't know. But they might get older. Who knows? I don't know. But it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a sight to behold. We're going to watch from heaven. I don't want to be a part of this. It'd be cool to be a part of just this one section, but going through all the other years to get to it, no thank you. I'll take my glorified body and mind, I'm just going to go up to heaven. Okay? But it's awesome. Think about it. It's something's going to happen. It's going to be beyond reason. And the Hay and Jenkins, basically everyone who took damage during the entire assault, people today, they had surgery an hour ago, are walking around, everyone's dancing, playing. One guy got blown up by a missile. He was barely clinging to life, and all of a sudden I feel good. Gets out of bed and hops up, runs out with no shoes on, and just crazy. That's how they interpret it. And honestly, that's how my mind sees it too. Almost like everyone gets a fountain of youth potion. Doesn't matter what you look like, you're eternal, your muscles are strengthened, you'll be like David. Everyone will be strong as David. Fearless, standing before the giant. And they're going to be before a giant. Make no mistakes about it. What weapons do they have? It does not matter. They might run around sucker punching everybody. Because in my mind, I believe at this point, when God steps in and says, "No more," the 2/3 are done. The rest will be tried by fire. But you will not take them from me. And because He will not be permitted to touch or take that last remaining third, in my mind, I see them as invulnerable. They will not be able to die. For them to rally and beat them on like sheaves on the threshing floor. You ever seen someone beat sheaves on the threshing floor? Imagine what a palm branch looks like. Sheaves are not palm branches, but in your head it would be an over exaggeration. They take it and they just start beating it. Dish, dish, dish. Imagine a 10-story giant grabbing one of these dudes by the leg and just slamming him on the ground. His head flies off and arms go leg, the leg pops off, and that's over exaggeration, yes, but still. They'll be so bolstered and strengthened. The armies of the Antichrist will put up no more of a fight than a palm branch could against us right now. they're going to be empowered by God. Supernaturally, it's going to be fantastic. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Okay, I lost my place again. Oh no, I finished that one. Okay, then Zechariah. Query. Why is God delaying? What is he waiting for? You could ask that question right now. God, what are you waiting for? And there's an answer. The full number of the Gentiles has not come in yet. When that happens, church goes bye-bye. That's what he's waiting for. Okay? But with all the stuff going on right now, y'all watch the news the last couple days? We've got 9. A young man went into a church last night. Killed 9 people in a prayer meeting. He's white, they're black, so obviously it's a hate crime. Has to be. This morning, Obama went on TV saying, oh, here we go again, another gun kills people. They didn't. The bodies weren't even cold yet. They made it a political thing and a hate thing. It couldn't just be the devil trying to destroy the church. But you know what? I had a thought that occurred to me earlier today. Think about how perfect you are. Imagine it right now. How perfect are you? How close are you to perfect? Now, God does not see us that way because, well, he sees us perfect because we're perfect before Christ presents us perfect before God. Okay? But are we perfect by our actions, by our thoughts? No. So, I want you to think about right now, are you more perfect, are you more closer to perfection right this moment than you will be tomorrow morning or tomorrow midday? You don't think you are? You don't think being in a house of God, having your mind focused on God, you are less likely to sin while you're inside these walls, and you're more likely to be right with God right this minute than you will be tomorrow at noon? After you've been cut off, sworn at, had just life come against you? I think being in the house of God at the end of a prayer meeting, you have repented to God for everything, you're probably as close to perfect as you can be. People are outraged this happened in the church. I say they are lucky it happened in the church at the end of their prayer meeting. If I had to choose a time and place to die, it would be at the end of church. In the church, before I got a chance to go out there into the world and have the world come against me while I'm still in my, I want to worship God frame of mind. All 9 of those people might be in heaven right this second because it happened to them in a church. If they had left that church and the next morning got hit by a car, any one of them, and they just had to fight with their husband and cursed them out or whatever. Now, I don't think we can lose our salvation that easily, but it's a risk either way. Every time you are out there in the world, stuff happens. And honestly, I don't think anyone can lose. I think to lose your salvation, it takes a certain amount of choices. But what if God took them because one of them was going to make that choice? They were borderlined. And in that moment was the only time God had to get them before he lost them. Is that possible? I don't know. I'm saying it could be. And at least when they went, they were like, they're sitting on their knees praying to God, and all of a sudden they're with him. Lucky them. I'm not saying we should go and give people in churches, not at all. But, I mean, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, if there was a place to go, a time, that would be the time. Oh, people are outraged. I'm like, Anyway. Yeah, right? Work's dangerous. Okay. I'm moving to 2 Kings chapter 19. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to read you a couple of verses. I'm going to tell you a story. I've said that events of the Old Testament mirror what's going to happen in the end. Okay? King Hezekiah. It's after David. Okay? King Hezekiah is the king of Israel. This is after Babylon has conquered Israel, and they have come back. Now, during King Hezekiah's reign is when Assyria assaulted Israel. God allowed the king of Assyria to take Jerusalem, the northern portion of Israel. He told them, you can have Jerusalem. You can have Jerusalem. Not Judah, Jerusalem. The king of Assyria goes in there, wham, takes Jerusalem, destroys everything, and then he gets greedy. And then he gets arrogant and says, I took the north, I can take the south. When King Hezekiah, who's in Judah now, realizes what's going to happen, he sends a letter to Isaiah. That letter says, thus says, this is 2 Kings 19, verses 3 and 4. Thus said to him, or they said to him, these are the messengers, thus says Hezekiah, this day is a day of distress, rebuke, and rejection, for children have come to birth, and there is no strength to deliver. Debbie, you can imagine that. I mean, I don't know what that's like, none of us do. But women know what that's like. I mean, imagine when you went to give birth, and you had to push, and you couldn't. But imagine you did.
Yeah, it would be.
So this is a verse that only women can truly appreciate. They need to push, and they can't. They are depleted of all energy, and there's no one around with an adrenaline shot to give you the extra boost. So, perhaps the Lord your God will hear all the words of Rabshakeh. Rabshakeh. We're going to go with Rabshakeh. I struggled with it earlier, and I couldn't decide on how to pronounce it. Whom his master, the king of Assyria, has sent to reproach the living God, and will rebuke the words which the Lord your God has heard. Therefore offer a prayer for the remnant that is left. Basically, the king of Assyria, Rabshakeh, whatever his name is, he sent a letter taunting the king Hezekiah, saying, if you don't give it up, I'm going to slaughter you. You're weak, you're nothing, you're pathetic. And King Hezekiah is like, Isaiah, we need to do something about this. Sends this guy's off, goes to Isaiah. Isaiah is the only prophet there. The king receives from a messenger saying that they are being attacked. Basically just letting them know. Like, king, they're coming. They've decided to not wait, and they're coming after us. So, the message that he received that told him that, he takes the message, he goes into where he prays, spreads the letter out before God, and hits his knees. 2 Kings 19:19, it reads, the king takes a letter and spreads it out before God and prays. He ends it in saying, now, O Lord, our God, I pray, deliver us from his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you alone are God. Or you alone, O Lord, are God. Then in 2 Kings 19:20, it reads, then Isaiah, the son of Amoz, sent to Hezekiah, saying, thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, because you have prayed to me about the Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard you. So it's like, Isaiah's like, okay, he heard you. Stop worrying. Put your big boy pants back on. Change your Huggies. All right. Just, come on, pull it together. Then Isaiah sends a letter to the leader of the Assyrian army, their king. And what could Isaiah say to him? 2 Kings 19:28, and it reads, because of your raging against me and because your arrogance has come up to my ears, got caught. Therefore I will put my hook in your nose and my bridle in your lips, and I will turn you back the way in which you came. Skip down to verse 30 through 35. The surviving remnant of the house of Judah will again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem will go forth a remnant, and out of Mount Zion survivors. The zeal of the Lord will perform this. Therefore, thus says the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he will not come to the city or shoot any arrow there, and he will not come before it and with a shield or throw up a siege ramp against it.